Welcome to Lesson 3, the one where everything changes. Up to now, you've been reading about Python. In the next 30 minutes, you're going to run it. We'll open the RePL, print our first lines, store values in variables, meet the 7 core types, and finish by executing a real.py file. Tiny lesson, huge unlock. Here's the roadmap. First, the RePL, Python's playground, where you type code and see results instantly. Then print and variables, which honestly cover 90% of what you'll write day to day. After that, the 7 core types, your mental model for every piece of data in Python. And finally, you'll run a real.py file, end to end, 4 skills, 1 big shift. So let's start with the RePL, read, evaluate, print, loop. You type Python 3 in your terminal, hit enter, and you're in. Try 2 plus 3, get 5. Assign a name, print a greeting. That's it. This is the senior reflex you want to build. Anytime you're curious how something works, don't Google it first. Replit. 5 lines here will teach you more than 50 pages of docs. Now, the 3 patterns you'll use literally every day. 1. Assign a variable with snakemut case, username, not username. 2. Print to see what's happening. 3. F strings to drop variables straight into text. Notice that last block. Skip the plus sign concatenation. Senior Python is F strings always. Cleaner to read, harder to break. Once you've got variables and printing down, the next unlock is types. Python has 7 you'll see everywhere. Int for whole numbers, float for decimals, str for text, bool for true-false flags, none for nothing yet, list for ordered sequences, and dict for key-value lookups. Memorize these 7 and you can read any Python file on the planet. And when you're not sure what something is, drop it into the RePL with type X. That's the senior reflex. Faster than guessing every time. Here's the daily rhythm that separates tinkering from building. Explore in the RePL. Save what works into a .py file, then run it from the shell. 4 lines. Ask a name, ask an age, greet them, and project 10 years forward. Notice that int age wrapper? That's the senior reflex kicking in. Input always hands you a string, so if you want math, you convert on purpose. Be intentional about types, and you'll dodge a whole category of bugs. Now that you're writing code, you need 2 tools for talking to the humans who'll read it later, including future you. Comments start with a hash and explain why something exists, like flagging that a stripe call is rate limited. Doc strings live inside triple quotes on the first line of a function or module, and tools auto-extract them into real documentation. Rule of thumb, skip the obvious, and docstring every public function. That's the senior move. Speaking of senior moves, here are 6 reflexes worth burning in from day 1. Always reach for F strings over concatenation. Name things in snake case, not camel case, and call type X the second you're unsure what you're holding. Pop into the RePL before reading docs on any new library, wrap input in int or float before doing math, and remember, comments explain why, never what. 6 small habits, thousands of cleaner scripts. And here's your pocket reference. 12 patterns that cover 90% of what you'll type this week. Starting the RePL, exiting it, assigning variables, printing values, formatting with F strings, checking types, naming the Pythonic way, converting strings to ints, reading input, running a file, leaving a comment, and dropping a docstring. Screenshot this one. It's the daily kit you'll lean on until your fingers know it cold. Now, before you go run wild, let me save you some pain. 5 mistakes every Python beginner hits, including me. Input always hands you back a string, so wrap it in int before doing math. Mixing tabs and spaces will break your code, so let your editor enforce 4 spaces. Print needs parentheses. That's Python 3. A single equals assigns, double equals compares. And anything you type in the RePL vanishes when you close it. For keeps, use a .py file. All right? Theory's done. Time to put your hands on the keys. 3 exercises, and when you finish them, the Foundations section is officially behind you. First, explore the REPL with type on different values, and watch how Python categorizes everything. Second, write your first real .py file, a Greet script using input and f-strings. Third, become a type detective. Store 5 different values, then print them all with their types in one clean line. Run them. That's the shift. And just like that, first Python, shipped. You're REPL fluent. You've printed and stored variables, you know 7 core types, and you've run actual .py files. That's the foundation. From here, the tag shifts to daily. Lesson 04 brings control flow, if, else, loops, and list comprehensions, where these idioms start to compound. See you in the next one.